here you are, just a few months after meeting me for the very first time. What does it look like? What's happening? What's gone through your mind? How do you feel this very minute?
I'm nervous to be on the radio right now, but I feel great that it's not even been a week now since this deal was closed, and it's, as I said, it's my eyes have been opened to a whole new world, and I'm able to do something now that I've been wanting to do for years. I was working a job, for 5 years. I was an insurance wholesaler. I was going to work 9 to 5 every day. I was going to work in rush hour traffic. I was driving home in even more traffic, and I really felt like I was wasting my time every day. I didn't really, no matter how hard I worked, my income was the same. And we all dream of retirement, so I had my 401k that I was putting money into every 2 weeks. And as we know, what happened this past October, that took a big hit. I have money invested in other annuities and things like that I have been for a long time been kind of relying on that and seeing that as my future retirement, and I saw that take a big hit in October. So these were all things that were going on while while my first real estate deal was in process. So it gave me more clarification and comfort that I was doing the right thing, because what happened in the stock market in October can happen any time, and it's actually the second time this happened to me since I've had this money invested. So I'm almost back to where I was 8 years ago. So
wow.
If I'm relying on the stock market for my retirement, it hasn't really got me too far. So I feel much better now, having been in this real estate deal, because as Jim said, $15,000 in what amounted to be about 1 hour's worth of work. If that's something I do every quarter.
And did it really work?
No, not at all. And if I do that once a quarter, that's an additional $60,000 in passive income. So when I was working that job for 5 years, if they would have walked in and offered me a $60,000 raise, I would have been jumping out of my seat. And
hey, what if they would have offered you a $15,000 raise?
I would have taken it, and I would have been happy, and I would have been bragging to my friends about it. I would have been bragging to my coworkers. They would have been jealous of me. And that was really the problem. I was relying on this corporation to get me through my life, and at this point now I know I'm on a track where I can rely on myself, because I have a team around me. I have Vic, I have Jim and Joe that I can contact at any time, to provide me a whole new lifestyle. So it's very exciting.
Well, thank you for sharing that, and I'm sure that lots of people listening can relate, because they're frustrated. Since 2007, the average 401k has become a 201k, and it's really not okay, is it? I mean, the truth, according to U.S. News and World Report in March of 2009, they say that since 2007, the average 401k retirement account has lost on average about 50%. Now, you're talking about over the course of the last 8 years, right? Well, we also know that the Dow Jones Industrial Average, in October of 1998, the Dow was trading at 8,400. On just May 27th of 2009, just a few short days ago, the Dow was trading at 8,400. So that's a span of what, 9 years? This is exactly what you just described.
It's a 9-year gamble.
And lots
wow.
It's actually not 9. I apologize. It's 11 years.
Sorry.
And a lot of people are frustrated by that. They don't know what to do, and they're seeking out alternative vehicles. And real estate is one of those vehicles. So I want to ask you, what was it? I mean, I know you listened to us on the radio, and you were, one of those faithful listeners. One of those, you listened to the program all the time, and you sat there on the fence for a long time too, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Why did you do such a thing? I mean, why not just say, hey, you know what, that Canale guy, he makes sense. Let me come out to one of these free real estate lifestyle training events and see what it's all about.
Well, real estate investing is something I've wanted to do for a long time. I have friends, current friends, who have made a lot of money in real estate. However, they grew up, their father was a real estate investor, so they became experts growing up on fixing houses and things like that. I'm not an expert on real estate investing. I have no idea how to fix a house. So basically, working a 9-to-5 job, one of the biggest roadblocks, not only not having that the ability to fix houses and things like that expertise. My biggest hang up was, how can I do this if I have to be at a job every morning at 9 o'clock and I can't leave till 5 o'clock? Is this really something I can do just working, after work or on the weekends?
Kind of scary thought.
Absolutely. It's a very scary thought. So these are the things that I was thinking about when I would hear Jim and Joe on the radio, and I finally, like Jim said, kind of made a New Year's resolution to myself to just say, you know what, I'm going to go to this class. It's a free class. There's no risk involved. I'm going to go and hear what he has to say. And I was very surprised when I got there, because it wasn't just Jim talking the whole time. He sat down, and people came up from the crowd who were just looked like they were my age, of my income, and they talked about the real estate deals they were getting involved in, and it all clicked for me. Yeah, it absolutely all clicked for me, and said, this is something I can definitely do, and it made me really, really excited to take the next step, which is to take Jim's class, which was only a couple of weeks following that free class. So, and once I did that, I mean, again, my eyes were just opened up to a whole new world.
Yeah, if people say nothing's for free, there's got to be some catch. Mm-hmm. The truth of the matter is there really is no catch. We do offer a weekend training program, and it's not a training program, it's actually an implementation program. The information's in a book. What was that like? Coming out and hearing that for the first time. Hey, information's good, but a lot of people don't do anything with information. How do I make it for real this time? What was it like hearing that, on the first day you were going to start working with your realtor that moment? You were going to set up your listings that you were going to get and select your area and all of these kind of things, and you were going to start getting those listings and deals coming in. And that you were going to sit down and you were going to meet with your banker, and he was going to set up your financial plan for you and set up your portfolio so you look good for the bank, and that you were going to be setting up your LLC like right that minute, and then go walking through properties and learning how to estimate repairs like a pro in 7 minutes or less, and then seeing what the end product looks like and in-stage projects look like, but not just from the perspective of theory, but through the process of practical application. Because on the third day of class, you were going to learn that third step: buy it, fix it, then exit. Mm-hmm. How do we work on those exact deals? Not theory, not hype, not BS, but how we can actually see the real deal and start making money with it right away. How did that feel to you?
Oh, it felt great. Yeah, it felt great, and it was a little scary because it was my first time doing this. However, the class I attended, the 3-day class, on the second day we were actually walking through properties. Victor was there walking through with us, and this is the guy that's doing the rehabs for Jim.
Yeah, so now you're with your own contractor. You're Absolutely. Not, there's guys out there that have these so-called network providers or service providers or whatever they want to call them this week, but it's really not the same thing. Calling a bunch of strangers you've never met before versus, hey, we spent the whole day together with Vic. We know who our contractor is. We know who our project manager is. And we're walking through a bunch of jobs that, hey, he and Quantum Builders are handling, and that whole network and team of people that he has, that he brings to the table, are now your team. And you only have to deal with one person. So you get to be the president, and he gets to be your colonel, your general on the ground, so to speak, out there making everything happen. That's pretty exciting, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And again, when I'm listening to you on the radio, it's easy to say. It's very easy. I said it myself. Well, this is Jim and this is Joe. They can do this. I'm not Jim. I'm not Joe. I can't do this. And it was actually kind of flattering at that second day of the class when I'm walking, shoulder to shoulder with Victor, and this is the guy that's doing the rehabs for Jim and Joe.
Right. I actually remember the bus trip. I remember you being on there and how aggressive you were and about talking about it and saying, "Hey, look, I'm really going to do this. I'm really going to." Put this implementation strategy right in hand because the team is right here and I'm ready to go right now. I said, wow, he seems like he really has his head on straight. I wonder, is the fear going to hold him back, or is he actually going to go through with the deal?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's always going to be fear, and there was some fear even after that 3-day class, but I was right back at one of those free classes, a week later, just to stay energized. So. That did not really hold me back. I mean, I was ready to go. I had, Victor to be able to rely on. And I remember that second day of class, when I walked off the bus, Victor kind of stopped me and gave me a little poke, and he pointed at me and said, "Call me." And I was like, I will. I said, okay.
Yeah, I wanted to push him along and let him know, hey, if you want to do this, it's possible. That's the thing, is that when people read books and they reading the paper. You know, they really don't know if it's really possible for them. The story sounds good, but do I really have all the variables in place? Do I really have the people in place? Do I really have the team members? And do I really have the phone numbers of the people that I really need to call to get me out of the jam if I say, hey, I want to do this?